Welcome to Universe Unveiled, the podcast where we explore the mysteries that challenge our understanding of history and the universe. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Jacqueline.
Today we have Nick from the Occult Rejects. I don't know if any one of you watch his show, but it's pretty fucking awesome. And we're going to talk to him about his time in OTO, amongst other things. Hello, Nick.
What is up? How are you?
What's up?
Yes, it's actually nice to talk to you in person instead of just retweeting in comments.
I know, right?
No, but I do see you guys a lot on Twitter. It's pretty good.
Yeah, figured we should probably meet, huh?
It was inevitable.
Yeah, well, especially with Ricardo in the middle. How did that not happen?
Yes. Yeah, that's how I found you, actually.
The same here. That's how I found out about you two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we like watching Ricardo on Occult Rejects. So
yeah,
if he's there, we're there. And then it's quickly become go-to at night.
Yeah, because you got lots of stuff going on every week. So
well, it's also been around for like almost 5 years.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, there's like people that are like some guy on Twitter keeps on like, oh my God, this episode was amazing. And it's like 3 years old and he's tweeting it saying like,
oh wow.
Going back listening to all this stuff. He's like, I had no idea you guys had so much shit.
Yeah.
Like, we're not new. And crazy thing is, not even to pat ourselves on the back. It's just funny how like some of the older topics that we did 2 or 3 years ago all of a sudden become popular now. It's like, well, it was old to us.
Yeah, somebody finds them.
Scrolled back, but I didn't know that it went on that long.
I wasn't a checkmark Twitter person that posted this, so it didn't count. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So what made you want to make a podcast? I mean, was it all your idea? And I guess you kind of started it.
Yeah.
I know you have other people on.
Originally, when I started podcasting, I started out with the NY Patriot Show. It was just like me bringing guests on. Well, actually, at the beginning, it was me talking into like a handheld mic.
Oh, wow.
Recording it and then putting it up as an audio. I was only doing audio at first. And the reason I had even started is because, I had left the OTO. And I guess, just to sum it up real fast, I had a magical experience, a few of them. I left the OTO because of that. Oh, well, I left the OTO because I was already out the door anyway, but that definitely solidified it for me. And because of the times, I guess like I stopped paying attention when I was in the OTO and practicing magic. I really wasn't paying attention to conspiracies, or I was never really into politics, but I really wasn't paying attention to much of anything besides practicing magic and I guess the life, right around me in front of me. So when I left and I started paying attention, I guess the rest of the world, I was like, yo, it's like occult stuff and the symbology is like fucking everywhere, especially politics, because that was so huge at the time.
You're good.
Yeah, it was like, when I left was around the time of, one of the reasons I even left is because they did like a group meeting on the shit with George Floyd. So I just left around that time. So it was like COVID, George Floyd. The lodge at one point was even saying that you couldn't come there unless you're vaccinated. And I was like, go fuck yourself. It was just weird. The place closed down. And I was like, well, fucking Jesus got his doors open. I guess he's got more balls than Horus right now. Like, what the fuck's going on? So it was just, shitty, weird. I didn't agree with a lot of stuff. They started pushing far left ideology in the Zoom meetings. And I was like, what the fuck's going on here? So, but, I started realizing like the symbolism and what's going on is like huge right now with the politics and all these protests. I saw it and I was like, oh, like it's really that obvious and that bad. And like, nobody sees this shit. So I started like my podcast and I started off kind of just explaining, leaving the OTO. I even covered like the first 3 initiations and 4 or whatever. Then they ended up like, believe it or not, they got taken down. Somebody from the OTO must have heard it and then sent it to somebody because I ended up getting like a DMCA. And like, fucked up thing is the person who's in charge of that used to go to the lodge that I went to and she knew who I was. So I been like, yeah, it's just Chick Kitty that I used to go to the OTO. She's like kind of like the lawyer for them in a sense. And she had to be the one to do that to me. So very, very weird. But yeah, they had those taken down. And then I kind of just like, again, like eventually when I kind of got off about talking my initiations in the OTO, I started bringing guests on. And then somebody had heard me and contacted me. They heard me on Lift the Veil. It's actually on Lift the Veil a long time ago. And they heard me on there, and they contacted me, and they were like, I was in the Golden Dawn, and I happened to leave. I don't. It wasn't like the same reasons, but I think like whatever. He didn't like the place for his own reasons and left. And we started like I had him on the show a few times, and I was like, "Yo, would you like want to do a podcast together?" I was like, because I kind of wanted to do stuff where I did like deep dives into things. I said, but it was one person. That's fucking a lot.
A lot of work,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, for sure, for sure." And like we ended up probably working together for about a year and a half. And it was just us two. His name was Lux. Unfortunately, I really wish it wasn't to the point to where it got at, because he is probably somebody that I would still use here and there, but unfortunately he became like a massive pathological liar about like not trying to shit on the guy. But it was like, you ever know like one of those people that's like you can ask them what they had for lunch? It's like it has nothing to do with like anything of importance, and they'll tell you like McDonald's, but yet they just had Subway. Like one of those.
Yeah.
It was just like, why did you have to lie about that? Do you think I like McDonald's more? Like, what the fuck?
Weird, yeah.
One of those people, or like would start a conversation about like stuff like about his job that he doesn't work at anymore, trying to tell me that it was just weird. Like, dude, you can admit to me you don't work there anymore. Like, you don't have
Yeah.
to send me
Yeah.
pictures. Eventually, the whole thing, I would just find out the reason I even found out much about anything about the dude is because my wife at the time, who I was married to, I'm divorced now, but was married, she was like, something's off with this motherfucker. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, the guy comes on, and she's like, what's his name? And I gave her his name because I think one time somehow he gave me his name, and it was telling you, well, and he even spelt it wrong, probably on purpose. But my ex-wife ended up finding the name, spelt differently, and I was like, oh yeah, that's him because I've seen his face once. That was another thing. I'm podcasting with a dude who would never show his face, so that was getting a little weird.
That is weird.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, when you're lying that much, you don't want to show your face.
Sure, sure, sure.
Yeah.
So eventually I was just like, yo, this motherfucker hasn't even been working for the last 2 fucking years, according to his LinkedIn. And he's telling me he's still there. It was just, I started finding out all these lies, and he started like half admitting some of them. And I was just like, yo, this is crazy. When I'm covering shit like this, I don't want somebody who's a liar on my show.
No.
I actually
Yeah.
consider this stuff very important, So I just wasn't comfortable with it. And I was like, dude, you got to go. I ain't working with you anymore. And at that point, I was like, I don't know what the fuck to do with this show. I started just bringing on guests, but trying to cover topics with them, people for certain things. And eventually, I guess from doing that, I started becoming friends with other podcasters. Or believe it or not, a lot of the people that are on the show now were actually fans of the show that either started their own stuff or I just brought on. Believe it or not, almost
That's
all of them.
awesome.
I would say, well, everybody on the show was a fan of the show, but some of them started podcasting because of the Occult Region.
Okay.
So I just noticed, I was like, all right, I'm going to keep using these people. And eventually it's just kind of caught on where I was like, I'm just going to keep using the same people that I get along with and we work well together.
Yeah.
And then it just, somehow it turned into about 12 people. Which I was kind of shooting for, because I was like, you got the Zodiac, that's 12. And then I think the
True.
way it equals out now is like 9 men and 3 girls. So I was like, you still get the 93 from the OTO thelemic shit. So like, yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that for now. Plus, like, I'll be totally honest with you, I'm not gonna mention any names, but like during that time, you go through people joining and like people you're just like, that's not gonna work out anymore.
Sure.
So I mean, even
Don't
kind
we
of
know
had,
that?
yeah, I kind of had its growing.
Don't we
pains.
know?
We had some growing pains. And people are just going in their own, I think, different direction than what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to scare people with the occult. I'm trying to,
Educate.
educate.
Inform. Yeah.
Yes.
Expose.
And,
Yeah.
some people are just stuck on where everything's Satan, everything's dicks, and everything's evil. And everything's the process church. And I'm tired of hearing that shit. It's just fucking silly.
Preach.
Yeah. So it's just like, I went through some growing pains, but I can say now I'm like very happy with the people I'm working with. I have no anxiety when I hit the record button. There was even times I was just like worried about what was going to come out of certain people's mouths. Before I hit the record button. But now, like, everything's good to go. It's rolling pretty well. And we're even talking about like covering topics together with groups of us instead of just bringing on guests. So, yeah, it should definitely pop off even more, hopefully in the next year or so.
Yeah. It just goes to show you, like, it's always going to be changing and growing, right? Over 5 years, like, you kind of find a groove, and then sometimes directions change. Doesn't matter. It's
Oh
all
yeah,
good.
it's probably about 3 times now it's gone through like kind of like a change, but I mean it's always gotten better every time.
Yeah. Sometimes
It's
you just
almost
need
like
an
I hate to say
overhaul.
it, there's like a death and a rebirth. It's like
Yep.
unfortunately people get removed, other people come in, or it just stays the same. But something's got to go to change it to get in the direction that it's going.
And
That's how things grow.
I
Yeah.
would say one of the things when I first heard about your podcast that I loved when I first turned it on was like, shit, look at all these people. Like, I just love how there's different people on, all the different perspectives, all the different personalities, and just, each person kind of has like their own thing going on that they bring to the table. So that's what I love that. I appreciate that. So,
It's
We
pretty
straight
much.
up hijacked that idea. We have our own UU crew on the
oh, for
way.
sure.
No,
Yeah,
that's great.
for
I
sure.
honestly think more people should do that.
Yeah. Because
That's
then
what
it's
it's
not
all
like an
about.
echo chamber, you know what I mean? You're there telling the
Yeah,
world what you think.
yeah,
You got other people who are there to help you kind of carry along the narrative, the story, or whatever you're presenting, right?
At first, I was a
Yep.
little worried about even doing like those larger groups because I'm not patting myself on the back, and there are people that I know on YouTube. They may not really be podcasters. They don't have audio. They do like YouTube things. Well, they'll have multiple people on, but honestly, a lot of podcasts when they do that, it's just like a bunch of dudes jerking each other off, saying how everybody else is dumb and that they don't fall for
Right.
the current narrative. It's just like
Right.
there's no substance to these roundtables. It's just
Right.
everybody patting each other on the back, saying. So I was like, you know what? If I pull this off, I actually want to make it like educational. And
Sure.
I think that was like even part of the reasons why I started kind of like you said, there are people that I pick because they have certain things that I think are
Mhm.
valuable, different, like
And I appreciate watching your show. Like sometimes people just flat out disagree. You
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, oh,
Like,
yeah, people will, but they're not dicks about it either for the most part.
right. Yeah. Respectful. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
don't
would even
believe
say
that.
like like Ricardo, I bring him on because he's great with the science.
If I may.
I
If I
bring
may.
I bring Lisa on because she's really good with the occult and
Mm,
physiology.
yep.
Jen is really good with his Asian stuff, which most of us don't know jack shit about. You know
True.
what I'm saying?
Right.
So like everybody does have like their own kind of niche, and like even Tyrone is like I've added him to the show recently.
Hmm.
I met him. I thought he was
Same.
actually like he's a real motherfucker. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like I know you're not paid or you're not like I don't know how to explain it, but I know you're real. And like, I just cheesy as shit. The fact that this dude loves pulling shit up and throwing it on the screen where we're talking about it, it's like, he's even found like his own way to contribute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, the man reads.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
say
yeah.
that.
Well,
The
that's
man
another thing too.
reads.
I'm like, people that read, they got a lot of shit up in that head. So I want to
Yeah.
get.
He's the king of a book tab.
Yeah.
Which
Just call
I
him
love that about
Tabs.
him. Yeah, I love that about him for sure.
Yeah.
Tab and Tyrone.
Tab and Tyrone.
Tyrone. Next time I
Yeah.
introduce him on the show, I'll call Kevin Tyrone.
Tab and
Yeah.
Tyrone. So, okay, let's talk a little bit about how you got into OTO. How did you get into this situation?
How'd this
I
happen?
I was well. First off, just to make it real quick, when I first got into conspiracies, it was probably a little bit around 2010. I was hugely drawn to oh god, what are these? David Icke, Michael
Mm,
Passio, Jordan Maxwell. I couldn't remember his name. People like that were very much into covering the occult as well. You know what I'm saying? It was conspiracy,
Yeah.
but a lot of focus on the occult. I was interested in that, and I kind of like gravitated towards things like that. And like most people, probably at some point you just start like looking up things and going down rabbit holes on your own. So I was
Yeah.
always interested in the occult stuff, and I was like, one day though, I was just like, I'm chasing all these names, all these orders, or these styles of magic that started here. Who started this? What family started this? Who's doing this? I'm like, I still have zero fucking clue what the fuck magic is.
Head still spinning.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is magic? I know these names in these places, but it's not telling me what the fuck magic is or occultism is. Just
mhm.
one day that clicked, and I was like, maybe I should see if these places like are around. I was like, fuck it, right?
Yeah.
So I knew somebody who was a Freemason that I met. Like at one point, I started even buying books. I bought a couple of books on Magic, and then I started like joining like a couple like Facebook groups. I didn't know where to look for this shit, so I went on Facebook. That's what kind of when people still used Facebook. You have to think
Mhm.
back in 2010. So there was like a lot of groups that I was in. I met some people that were like Freemasons or Thelemites or into other shit, and some of them I became close to. And one person was in the Masons, and they were like, "Listen, you join the Freemasons, you're gonna be waiting fucking forever to even get into magic." So like, don't even bother if that's what you want to do right away. And they suggested like, the Golden Dawn, the OTO, the Martinists, maybe one or two other things they suggested, and nothing was around me except for the OTO, and it was like 20 minutes away. And I was like, well, I really don't have an option.
Right.
I would have preferred, honestly, myself. I was kind of hoping there was a Golden Dawn because to me it seemed a little bit more educational and not so much like the flair that Crowley has, or the OTO had. So I was like, I guess I'll deal with this because I'll even say too. I mean, I don't know how many of these stories are true, but I'm sure Crowley, whatever. I'm sure he did some fucked up shit at some point. So I don't put him up on a pedestal. So I was just like, all right, I'll go to the OTO anyway, even though I'm not like, worshiping Crowley. But I do believe he was an occult genius. He was onto something. Actually, since I've left and had magical experiences, I actually think he was more of an occult genius now than I did when I joined. Yeah, so I decided to, I was like, fuck it, I'll go look them up. And like these places, like, not really secret. I think the information about occultism is secret, but these places existing, they're not hiding it. They have websites. They have like,
Right.
They all have social media. And like I found the place. It was like, oh, Tahuti Lodge. Okay, let me look that up because it was like on the OTO fucking website showing you like the map showing where places are. And I was like, all right, yeah, that's near me. So I looked it up, and they had a schedule, I think on Facebook or somewhere. There was like a calendar of events, and I was like, all right, they got the Gnostic Mass coming up in like a week. And I Googled, either Googled it or looked it on YouTube. And I was like, oh, there's a Gnostic Mass on here, so I could watch it. So I watched it, and I was like, all right, it's a little, different, but nothing crazy. I think I can handle this. So I, decided to go for a Gnostic Mass. And I remember, like, even the email was like making it almost weird at first. But when I got there, I realized the situation. But at first, I was like, I think they gave me directions to get there. And then they're like, there's a park across the street with benches on the, that are out on the road, like on the sidewalk. They're like, sit at, go over by the benches and wait, and we'll come out and get you. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? So like now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go. What's going on here? I'm like, it's in Sunnyside, so it was like even an area where there was like a lot of traffic and even problems parking. It was a busy area. I ended up finding a spot. Luckily, that wasn't too far away, and like I could see, like I was like, all right, there's people standing outside. Like it was like probably like 10 or 15 people. And like they all looked like they were fucking goth or they listened to The Cure. So it was like I already knew it was yeah, so I was like, all right, they already fit. I guarantee you they're waiting there. So I was like, I'm not going to be the only one standing out in the street or getting sacrificed. So,
group sacrifice.
I walked over there and then it, I think one or two people might have said hi to me. And then like I realized the situation is that the place that they're in, you need a key. You can't just walk into the apartment complex. So somebody had to come out to actually like open up the door so everybody can get in because nobody has a key. They don't live there. So I was like, all right, this makes a little bit more sense. It's okay. It's, So I went. Now I didn't realize, thinking that like, I guess you could make a non-nude version of the Gnostic Mass and put it on YouTube. Like I just didn't think like that's what you would have to do so it would stay up. So at one point, like titties came out, and I was like, yo, this wasn't in fucking YouTube.
This wasn't on the YouTubes.
Yo, I was just like, yo, if this shit gets any fucking weirder, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I was even thinking that. I was like, yo, anything else happens, I'm fucking walking out.
I'm gonna dip.
I'm like looking. It's like if people want to see the Gnostic Mass, it's like people are standing up on each side at this point when the tits come out. So I'm just like standing there. I'm like almost like everything, I'm just like looking at everything. I was like, yo, I'm standing here with people. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Is this going to turn into Eyes Wide Shut?
Right.
And I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't fuck any of these people either. So like, I'm definitely out of here. Like, I wouldn't have anyway. But it was just like, yo, this is very fucking weird. I get the fuck out of here if this gets right. And luckily it didn't. But I was just like, that did, like, I was just like, whoa, okay, all right. So they got fucking titties every time it comes to Mass. So I mean,
worse things could have happened.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess. I mean, really, I guess if a pair of boobs, like, should a dude really be complaining at that point?
Like a attendance incentive.
Yeah. Oh, it is for a lot of people there.
Would have been nice to know, though. Would have been nice to know beforehand.
Yeah, it's just like it has such a horrible connotation, that organization,
right?
Already, that I was just like, fuck, like what's happening next? Like,
I'm not prepared.
yeah, I wasn't expecting this. So, obviously it wasn't bad enough to stop me from going, but like, I ended up going back again for like a class. Because that was like another thing. This thing would have like classes where like how to make a talisman, how to make a fucking candle magic. Sometimes they would have history classes on older people, or like older occultists or alchemists or
Mm.
planetary magic classes. So they would the Hootie Lodge that I went to was when I was there was very, I guess, on and popping with a lot of stuff going on. So there was other things besides the Gnostic Mass that I could do, and I ended up doing that, and I guess I found value in the place. Besides the Gnostic Mass, the classes, there was a lot of people there that were into a lot of different ideas of magic. So I even thought it
Mhm.
was value to just talk and learn from other people. So I
Right.
guess, again, even though that was my first experience and it weirded me out, I ended up staying for like another 5 to 6 years. I
Oh,
will say
wow.
at one point, yeah, I will say at one point, it's kind of funny. I never did get used to the whole titty thing, and that I ended up getting, while you're there, when you start like becoming a member or moving up, they're going to expect you to do things or get involved. And one of the easier things to do, in my opinion, was to be in the Gnostic Mass. And for somebody like me or an entry level person or somebody who hasn't been there for years or done certain things, you're really only going to be able to pie a child. They call it children or the children. And
Mm.
basically you follow the priestess or the priest. One person will have incense and charcoal. The other person will have water and salt. And you follow them throughout the thing. But at one point, when the tits come out, the children are facing everybody else the other way. So she's to my back. So I was like, all right, I'll just start childing. So now I don't even have to stare at this bitch anymore. And I'm getting involved, and it makes everybody happy. So that was even like another way that I was even to like mind fuck myself to stay there and stay involved. But it had some of its pros and cons. But eventually, at the end, the stuff with it again, it just I was even kind of like not going there anymore. Probably about 6 months prior to COVID, I just really wasn't happy with it. It just seemed like at this point I started having my own magical experiences, and to me, I was just like nobody else there is. Everybody else there is fucking idolizing this guy, and they're fucking slaves. And nobody there that's even high up is even telling people what the fuck they think really magic is. So I'm like, either they know and they're not telling everybody, or they don't know either. And I was just like, and the images and the way people live and the way people act, it's more as if they're like celebrating the vices instead of the virtues. So I was just
Okay.
like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. This isn't the image of my magical experience. Even though now I do use art, it does look that bad almost to an extent to express magical experiences, but it doesn't always have to look like that. Just put it that way. And that place always did seem to look like that. But to me, it was just a certain vibe that just didn't match my magical experience. And then I was like, yeah, I think I'm just going to slowly bow out. And then again, when COVID happened, and all of a sudden they're like, we're closing the lodge. I wasn't going to go anyway, probably. But like, I just thought visiting, I was just like, yo, this is fucking stupid. The churches are open.
Mm.
And then they started doing Zoom meetings because of that. And I was like, you know what? I could probably jump in every once in a while. Like, again, honestly, COVID hit. There wasn't much going on.
Mm.
I was like, I'll jump into some Zooms because they were pumping out mad shit on Zoom, like meditations, classes,
Yeah.
book readings, just doing a lot of stuff that I guess even help the mentally ill there and not go crazy because there was tons of mentally ill people there for sure. Uh, they did that, and then one day they did something for the George Floyd thing. Like they actually sent an email out that they were going to have like wanted to talk about the whole George Floyd situation. And I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? I was like,
Mm.
OTO is really supposed to be much like Alcoholics Anonymous to the extent that we don't give a flying fuck what the fuck's going on in the outside world. We're only supposed to talk about what's going on in here and what this place is about. So
Right.
if we're not talking about magic or fucking cooking for Crowley, what the fuck are we even talking about this for? Like this has nothing to do with fucking magic, unless we're going to talk about how it's probably a fucking psyop and there's tons of occult symbolism in it. But I wasn't
Mm.
talking about. All of a sudden
Mm.
it became like we have motherfucking white people going around in a circle talking about fucking black racism that they experienced. It's like you're not even fucking black. Get the fuck up.
Yeah.
We had
Right.
one black guy in the fucking lodge, which that should say something in itself too. Well, no, we don't want to fucking talk about that during this kumbaya on George Floyd.
Kumbaya.
It was fucking weird. And I'm like, yo,
Kumbaya.
and then they want to start talking about people want to start protest. We'll set up protests.
Okay.
What the fuck is
Ugh.
this about?
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I'm out of here. This shit is fucked up. This is a fucking seriously left-leaning liberal.
Everything went like that, though, right? Everything went like that. So,
Even
but it's
prior to
weird.
that,
Flip the switch on everything.
Yeah, it's weird to see it in that context, like in that setting, for sure.
as it is, because like, yo, I'll be straight up. Even if Aleister Crowley was alive today, he'd be like, "You motherfuckers are retarded."
Sit down.
He would seriously say, "I don't even want this fucking thing anymore. Somebody else take it over. You guys are all fucking sick." I guarantee you, he'd be eating shit on his own fucking organization at this point.
Yeah.
They are slaves to the fucking gods. It is
Yeah.
sad. But it just sort of like I should have realized, like, again, I'm not a lot of things. I think a lot of with the sexual shit going on right now, I just think it's all you hand somebody an idea that they've never heard of before, they have the chance to either take it in or leave it alone. So I do think like it's just a mind fuck with a lot of that shit. But like even before I left the OTO, they started like doing things to like figuring out ways to include like non-binaries to do certain roles in the Gnostic Mass. And I'm like, do you realize like everything in the Gnostic Mass is an energetic thing that's supposed to be coming together? If you turn one of them to non-binary now, it doesn't fucking work.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are we bending to these sick motherfuckers?
Hmm.
It just makes no sense. And I was just like, and other people saw that shit coming too, but I had no idea it was going to go that extreme when it finally did. And that's when I was like, I'm out of here. Because at first I was just like, all right, this is a little weird. There's only like one or two here, so I didn't really care. But when shit just started getting weirder, and I was like, I'm out. You guys are obviously pushing far left ideology. And there was like there was like a weird thing too, like like again, as I said, the longer you're there, they're gonna expect you to do more things. This is a good reason why I left as well too. The second degree. When I took the second degree initiation, they read off certain things about other degrees going higher, things that might be needed to even take that degree, or things that you would have to have like checked off to even take that degree.
Right.
You mentioned one of them, like the seventh degree. I think I could be off by a degree or two. In case anybody listening happens to know, and I might be off by a degree or two. I'm not talking shit. He's wrong. He fucked it up. One of those. As you start getting higher up, 6, 7, or 8, it's around there. You got to be with like the person you're with. Like they have to be a member of the OTO. So like either like the.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, so if I want to stay here, I'm gonna have to convince my wife to join.
Yeah.
Like as soon as she saw the Gnostic Mass, she'd be like, "Get the fuck out of here, we're done."
Yeah.
Yeah. All them titties.
Yeah.
There's titties here.
Well, I have no hair. She would have dragged me out by my shirt. Be like, yo, fuck out of here, bro. Yeah. But
yeah.
I was just like, all right, so like that's gonna be a hard one. And then like they mentioned another one, I think it's the 8th. Because I had actually spoken to somebody, Paul. He's actually funny dude. He's been on Tyrone's show. He's actually been on my show before too. He used to be heavily into the OTO and even a member, I think, of the lodge that I used to go to. And he kind of confirmed it for me. I don't know if it was on the air or off the air, but like in the 8th degree, they do tell you that if you do take that degree, you're signing everything over to the OTO of yours.
Oh, wow.
But now, if you stay, see, this is the thing I don't know if everybody knows, because this was why Paul. I had somebody on the show that claimed that they used to be a 10th degree OTO member. And Paul told me he highly doubts that they stopped at 10th degree, because when you go to 10th degree, everybody who gave up their shit in the 8th degree gets split among the 10th degree members. So why would you want to give all that up?
At 10, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, that's another mindfuck. But like, yo, as soon as they said signing your shit over, I even remember like I looked to my side to my boy Jordan, because I had taken me and my boy Jordan and another girl. It was just weird how the three of us actually did all our initiations together, like going up. And so I remember like Jordan was there with me, and I just like kind of looked at him, and he looked at me, and I was just like, yo, like afterwards I was like, yo, well, that's like, this is a cult if we go that far.
Yeah.
I said, this is a fucking cult, bro. I was like, I can't do this.
The whole spouse thing, and then your worldly possessions.
Yeah,
it's like a bridge too far.
Yeah, there's the line.
Yeah, so like now one of the things for the second degree that you could do, like, so you don't have to do it, but it was like something that was available for people in the second degree as like whatever service. Was I thought I had spoken to somebody well, I forgot what the name of it was, but like basically you get in touch with like the outer head guy, like the main guy, Sabazius. I can't remember his fucking name. This guy's the weird names. You got one guy calls him Beta something. It's like, who the fuck calls himself a Beta? Like, like Beta Hyman, some weird shit. It's like some fucking whatever. So this other dude, so it's like I was told, like, oh yeah, you got to talk to him once a month, and you basically just keep him up to date about what's going on in the lodge, this and that. You know, how's everybody's feeling? You know, is it going well? Blah blah blah. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds easy enough. Talk to this fucking dude, this
It's
guy.
like a probation officer, though.
Oh yeah. I was just like,
Yeah.
you know, I only got to do this 12 times a year. I think I could probably pull this off. I was like, oh, see, I did my service, and I knew like, again, I was on like thelemic Facebook groups, and I think like I had asked somebody or something, whatever, if they've had the experience doing it. And somebody reached out to me from like another lodge, and it was a chick, and we were kind of like we weren't friends, but I guess like social media friends a little bit.
Mhm.
And yeah, she had told me we did it, and I ended up finding out it was like every week. I was like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, you know. And then like even now again, like I'm only know who this girl is really from asking this question, and I guess you know we probably had some chit chat about the OTO, nothing serious, but then like they have these things called the Noticon. And that's like every 2 years. It's like this big, I guess it'd be something like the Cosmic Summit in a sense, but you know, the OT style. And I was being told that, like, oh, normally they only do it with first degree people. Minervals could go there, which is like basically you're half a member, you're like half in, half out. You kind of, you can go to, closed meetings, but you're not considered a member. They were allowed to go, but like supposedly like first degree people, I was being told like, oh, if you get the shoulder tap, this means that the person's probably going to ask you to come back to their room and they're probably having an orgy. I was like, yo, what the fuck?
What? Shoulder
Girl,
tap.
this girl asked me. She asked me. No, and I'm just going to keep it real. This bitch was probably pushing 300. No lie. Gigantic. Gigantic. She's got motherfuckers running trains on her there.
Oh God.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, and like she was a degree higher than me at the time. And I had even asked her, I was like, you have any experience with like the pentagram rituals or the hexagram? It might have been the star ruby that I was asking about. Because, you know, I've been there for a few years and I'm actually trying to do shit. And she's like, no, I just started working on Libra Resh. I'm like, yo, that's a fucking prayer. I'm like, how the fuck are you at the third degree with no experience in fucking magic? Oh, because you're fucking motherfuckers when you go to these things. What the
They're
fuck?
back there. They're back
I
there
was just like,
harpooning a
yo,
whale.
like that in itself, and then me being told that this guy wants to talk to you every week, at that point, what the fuck are you doing? You're data mining. There's something the fuck going on here. If you want to talk to me every week, asking me what's going on in that place, I'm your fucking snitch.
Yeah.
You're looking for something. So that was another thing that turned me off. So like, you know, really didn't. Obviously, I didn't do it, but it was just like certain things. It was just like, yo, I'm not comfortable anymore with this shit.
Yeah.
And slowly, even like that's why I even kind of started to leave at one point. I was just like, oh, this doesn't.
Don't smell right.
I'm sure that room doesn't either.
Yeah. Not afterward, anyway.
And I was just like, yo, I'm like, yo, is there like dudes that like think they're the man for banging this bitch out too? Like, what the fuck? Like, like who the fuck?
Like, whatever this is, I don't want no part in it.
No, I'm like looking, I'm like, yo, like you can even pull that off? Like, no offense, but it's just like,
How?
I mean, you got regular pretty girls that can't even get a guy to talk to them. Like, what the fuck?
Good for her.
I guess.
I ain't mad at it. I mean,
no, but it was just weird. It was just like, yo, this is not for me. This is a little bit much. This is a little weird. So,
yeah, we're starting to get a little strange there at number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like again, like the giving up shit, the whole wife thing or girlfriend would have to be in the OT.
That's a weird one for me.
When I heard all of that,
That's a deal breaker. Yeah.
I already knew my time was limited. I'll tell you the truth, I was surprised I even did another one after that. Just more of like, oh, I want, you know, a badge to wear.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
you don't want to wear that. You don't want to wear that badge.
No, and then there was like, even things where you see people like, I've seen people like kind of get the Rosicrucian or something like version of the cross on their chest. Like it looks like it's either been burned in or carved in. I was told that was something that was done in one of the initiations, and I was like, yeah, I've only noticed it on women, so I don't know if it was done on men, but I was just like, yeah, that might be fuck out of here. Like I knew women that took a certain degree, and all of a sudden they ended up with that shit on their chest. I was like, oh, that seems to happen to women that do that degree.
Yeah.
Huh.
No thanks.
Yeah. I was like, what is it? At this point,
Yeah.
you start doing it on their inner thigh or the fucking underwear like area.
Yeah.
Kenneth Raniere was doing that. Branding
What was it? Yeah, Keith Raniere. Yeah, I was gonna say that's some
Keith
Nexium
Raniere.
stuff.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, fuck. I was like, yo.
Yeah,
Or I was, yo, when I heard that, I was like, yo, did he get that idea from this?
maybe,
Probably.
maybe.
It's
It,
everywhere.
yeah. What was that chick's
Yep.
name? Allison Mack. Yeah. That's a weird story.
But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
once you get Rosicrucian stuff, I mean, and all of this stuff is like that. Like it can get a little dicey, and there's like a polarity to it.
Mm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I've never known any one group of anyone to all be anything. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not saying that all lodges are like that, and I'm sure they're not all like that. And it's the same with like Freemasonry. Like, oh, the Freemasons are out here, they're Illuminati and they're all eating babies and whatever.
I've even said that on my own show. Like, I mean, I'll even admit it, people on my own show, I even think go a little bit too far with always blaming and pointing the finger at people. But like, like to keep it real, I mean, even when I say this, if I cover the Freemasons doing something horrible, like that's probably 5% of the whole order.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, I had even mentioned, because I think somebody was going on talking about like how horrible the OTO people are. And I was like, dude, most of the motherfuckers that were in my lodge were scared of their own shadow. They aren't hurting fucking anybody. I can tell you that right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, they were pussies. Straight up. I'm just going to be honest. Most of them were. They're not they're not doing the shit you think they are. It's the people that I don't fucking know that run the place that probably are.
Right. So any organization I always think of, like when they're, when you're throwing shit at the Masons or like a group like this, is that the fact that you're there for most people means that you're a follower. So you're not doing shit. You're just following shit. Like you're
Another thing too, I think it's funny that some people like you'll get a lot of people or like even podcasts that will like cover these things or they somehow seem to think these people are stupid. I don't know if it's because like you just want to talk shit about somebody or you're just jealous. But it's like, how do we say these people are running the world and then turn around and call them stupid at the same time? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Like I was like trying to even explain to be honest, I was trying to explain to my boy Headless on the show, just from meeting the people at the Cosmic Summit, I said, just keep it real. There was tons of fucking Freemasons there and there's tons of Knights Templar people there. And they are going to places that we cover. We've never been there. I've never been to the fucking pyramids.
Right.
These people know more. They're going places. They're doing things. They're getting their hands dirty in the shit. We got to stop sitting here saying they're fucking stupid and they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
Because if that's the truth, they wouldn't be controlling things, would they? We're obviously the uneducated ones.
Right.
So we got to stop thinking we know more and they're retarded. Because I hate to say it, it's not the case.
Yeah.
Well, we all go through our little conspiracy theory phase, and it seems like that always seems to hit first. And the fact that most of us do come in that door and we can't see that the mainstream conspiracy narrative about them is just that, a mainstream narrative, and everyone's reciting it. And it doesn't make them stop and think about, hey, I'm being fed some propaganda right now of some sort. I mean, because it did me.
Sure.
Oh, I think it's between that and I just think like even nowadays, it's like, I think people's idea of Magick is like some dude blew another fucking dude and then a demon showed up. What the fuck happens? Grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
This is actual science and you're being mindfucked by sounds and colors.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just
that's
like,
basic stuff. I mean, when I first had magical experiences, as you put them, that was one of the first things that I intuitively knew. I was like, holy shit, it's all real.
yeah, but in a
It's
totally
all
different
real.
way that nobody would ever think.
Yeah, I was like, there's a bridge here that needs to be made to make this not so taboo.
Yeah, and I think,
And like, it was one of the first revelations that I had when I, woke up, so to put it, was that there's a bridge there that needs to be made. It's not a bunch of evil baby eating and whatever the conspiracy theories are.
like I had even mentioned to Ricardo, and I don't think Ricardo would like gas my head up or agree with me just to agree with me. I think he would be honest.
No.
Like Ricardo, he'll tell you what he's thinking.
Oh yeah.
And he's a smart man. So, but like I had said something like I joke around and I'm like, yo, I said it one day when I had a bunch of dudes on the show. I was like, yo, if your dick looks like an obelisk, you got a fucking problem. Because I don't know anybody's dick who looks like an obelisk, and I don't know any girl that's gonna want something like that up in them. I was like, so maybe, just maybe, these things aren't dicks. And maybe they're actually like, if you were to ever take, like I have, I've put my drone up over obelisks, and you look down at the ground, I actually swear that thing's somehow either conducting power from somewhere, and all that shit, all the stuff on the bottom is actually an electric power grid.
Yeah.
It's
definitely drawing.
And say it's a dick, it's a dick, it's a dick, it's not. It's a dick. What the fuck? Grow up.
Grow up. Yeah.
You're going to be one of the dumbest people that are going to turn into a slave because everybody else is going to realize what the fuck the truth is.
Mm.
And
it's not a dick. It doesn't look like a dick at all.
I've never seen one that looks like that.
No, and I literally had people uncircumcised. I'm like, even a chick was even trying to say that on my show. God bless her. I was like, come on, let's just say this isn't a fucking dick. Can we get over it now? I know if you don't understand it and it scares you or weirds you out, we got to say it's Satan or sex. I understand that's how people. But like, we got to get over that.
Because we got to get past that.
How they make occultism and magic sound so fucking simple and dumb.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I just gotta vibrate a demon's name and fuck someone and just shit happens. The fuck over it already. It doesn't work like that.
No.
I mean, you might be able to maybe pull some things. Like I don't know.
You might pull something.
Produce some certain energy to help. But like, come on, man.
It might be herpes, but you'll pull something.
No, I just was like, yo, what's people's idea of like what's really going on in these places is probably all this from the truth.
Yeah.
It's all demons, like you posted the other day. It's all demons and Satan.
Yeah. Everything's a process, Church.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking weird out there. Yeah. No, but I do believe this is even more of a reason why I brought Ricardo onto the show and even Lisa, is because I actually do believe when it comes to occultism and magic, science is actually huge. I think these people understood science for hundreds and hundreds of years. There's people that I've covered on the show that I've done solo or I've covered with Lisa, older occultists going back 1200 and on, but like especially around like the 15 to 1700s, you had tons of people, men and women, covering eyeballs, drawing them, the brain, in occult books. So why is all this shit, nervous system, blood? I mean, Robert Flood was one of the people that actually kind of came up with blood pressure, being able to, they had breakthroughs with optical shit. And it's just like, if they were into this, why have we stopped looking into this stuff? It's just like it just something happened. And another thing too, it's like even as I'm covering these people, I will see, like, my honest opinion, Crowley had a guy from the Temple of Set on, Toby Chappelle, and he had called him a master of synthesis. So I don't want to take his thunder with that line, but I think he nailed it with that because he basically robbed all these other dudes and took. Now he may have understood what they were saying. I'm not saying he didn't. I think he had his own experiences, and that's how he understood what a lot of these men were saying and women. He took a lot of their ideas and kind of like made his own, which I'll be that's exactly what I do with a lot of my art. Some of them might even go back to a band that I liked, Iron Maiden or Def Leppard, or I may take certain old occult ideas from another occultist and mix it in with this type of artistic look from a certain album. So, I mean, I'm doing the same shit, but like he basically I forgot where I was going with this, but he was basically taking from the same people from the 1700s that were looking at this shit and kind of reusing their stuff. And what I'm getting at is the way he was able to do that is because nobody knew about those motherfuckers. They forgot about them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And all we do is have everybody blaming Crowley or John D. It's like, you got to go back hundreds of years earlier.
Yeah. It's like there's been a deliberate sabotage,
Yes.
I would say.
And I would even so it's probably the same shit that was going on 100 years ago when Crowley and Blavatsky was around. We can rip
Yes.
off all these older people and redo all their older shit and
Right.
rebrand it because nobody knows who the fuck they are anymore.
Yeah,
Because
they
they're
don't
so
know who they
stuck on
are.
Gibson demons.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
don't understand like the core base principles of anything, and it's all been kind of kiboshed with mixing it into making it seem stupid. You know, and taking away the validity of the science underneath everything. For sure. For
I mean,
sure.
it's funny too, and it's like I look back now and I think about it because of the way the world is now. I was like, could this just be like talking shit to get attention? Like you, like
Mhm.
I feel like we see that with politics right now. But like even back in the day, Crowley blamed Blavatsky for being the Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, I
So it's
did
just
read
like, yo,
that.
was that shit actual legit, or was that like, yo, let's just fuck around and get some attention and bring up our names,
Sure.
so
Name
people
dropping.
can see it? Because like I've even said too, Kanye West, that guy is crazy. He's lost his mind, but the thing is, he's not stupid. As long as people keep talking about him, regardless if it's good or bad, he remains a god in millions of people's heads.
That's right.
Yep.
He
That's
will
right.
die, and people will remember who Kanye West was, regardless if he was crazy, good
That's
music,
right.
whatever. And he will remain still being. He'll be an egregore after he dies.
Yeah.
So Elon Musk,
Immortal.
yes. That's why I say,
Yeah.
like, it's an occultist. Like, there's been times, I'll be honest, where I've kind of shown my ass just to get my name known.
Sure.
Oh, because I've said before, everybody's head's a fucking filing cabinet, and I want to open it up and drop the occult rejects in there. One folder, I don't care, as long as you know I exist and the show exists.
Yeah. That's
That's even some of the
basic
guests I have on. I don't even agree.
basic marketing.
I don't even agree with some of the occult guests I've had on recently. I don't like who they aspire to. You know, I had
Mm.
people that actually was very close to Michael Aquino. You know, I had two guests that were actually friends with him, and I did not agree with that. I don't like, whatever, but I had them on because I recall. I forgot where I was going with that, but I had them on just, they were occultists, but fuck, I forgot. I lost my train of thought with that. Sorry, there's something. God, man, the weed started kicking now.
Right. Well, I mentioned to you the other day that we do a segment called Universal Truth. Did you think about a universal truth for our list that we're comprising?
This goes on the immortal list, so you have to be sure about what you say.
It's got to be good.
It's got to be a good one.
See, but the thing is, like, I was thinking about that, and like the thing is, it's a truth for me. I don't know, like it's supposed to be like a truth for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's just for you. And it kind
Oh,
of like what universal truth would speak to like your core spiritual belief? Something like that.
The course of your life, what one-liner could get you through just about any situation? What's the most important thing?
well, as a magician, I think the most important thing is to have an experience with God.
Hmm.
And then
Agree with that.
all the people
Yeah.
have that same experience.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
It sounds, it's going to sound real cheesy. It's almost like AA. Again, I'm bringing that back up, and I do question if Crowley had a hand in that as well.
probably the structure, eh?
They tell you, you get sober, and then you go out and tell other alcoholics how you get sober.
Mm.
Share the experience.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very much the same way. I think when a magician has their experience, when they cross the abyss, this is just me. I think this is when the scales for the judgment really comes in, because it's like, what am I going to do with this gift that God gave me? Am I going to go and tell others about it and tell people about God? Or am I going to make money, fairy tales, and stories out of this? Am I going to mind fuck people? I think, unfortunately, most people choose the latter. But,
yeah.
yeah,
Or they
that's
choose
my
not to see it
opinion.
at all.
In my opinion, I think when you have a magical experience, if you're going to do the right thing, you're supposed to share that with another person and let them know that they can experience it as well.
I would even say that's at least part of the meaning of life, you
Mm.
know, is to have an experience with God or whatever you want to call it, and to share that experience with other people. Almost like a litmus test.
And it's just
Mm.
my experience. When you have those experiences, you will even like be blessed with knowing things you didn't know prior. So like
Yep.
even in some ways, it's just like God gave you that gift and you decide to be a piece of shit with it. Like what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, it's bad, actually. Yeah, it's
Well, they
freaky.
want to ignore it or explain it away, or because, I mean, it's not an easy path to walk. And I mean, I fell into it completely oblivious to it all. Like, and I know it now is like a spontaneous awakening or something like that. I mean, I went to bed one day and I woke up different. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, it's a tough path to walk alone, and it's easier to shut the door on it and oh, that's the devil, Sarah, or whatever the hell the family said. Like,
Hmm.
but I mean, you have to commit to it every day and commit to understanding it better every day. And it's something that you are mostly going to do alone, because I did the same thing. I looked at secret societies, was one of the first things I did. I was like, I need other people who understand this.
Hmm.
And what made sense was like Masonic imagery and stuff. And I'm like, I'm seeing this in my dreams at night, and I have no context of what any of this is about. So, like, it's just my own mystery. And that's what's great about right now is I can talk to people like you who have been through something similar. And like, you have people on your show who have been through something similar. That's my own journey that I'm trying to get to the bottom of too. So, like, on this show, like, I'm not really a history person. I'm trying to figure something out, like,
Hmm.
I'm trying to figure something out real quick. So yeah,
Real
I would
quick.
agree that that's the meaning of life, is to have these experiences and to share it with other people.
I think
Hmm.
it would be liberating for the human race. It's filled with
No
shit,
Yep,
doubt.
basically.
No
that's the
doubt.
word I heard in my head. So yeah, I agree.
I mean, even from I don't know, like I don't know your guys' opinions on it, but like I know you had said, like like shit changed drastically. Even after I had my magical experiences, I was like, I can't even look at UFOs and aliens the same way anymore.
Nope,
I don't believe that's really what we're.
just flips it upside
Right.
down.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't know. There was just a
Right.
lot. I mean, I will even say, this is something I say a lot when I've had magical experiences, and I open up my eyes and know things. It's not even a faith. It's like a knowing. It's almost like you even hear what's being thought in your head reverberating like a bell or some shit, or you see visions that's
Yeah,
confirming these thoughts. There's a lot of there was some truths that for me that I wasn't, I don't think, even mentally really prepared to handle either.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, so it's like that's even kind of like a little. You might have to be like mentally fit, kind of, to even deal with sometimes. Like God may tell you things you didn't ask him to tell you, but he's going to tell you anyway.
yeah.
He might be
Eventually,
like a
you're
hard pill to swallow. You're like, fuck, dude, you just laid some heavy shit on me, man.
yeah, and you need time to
I
process
really,
that. And
I know I may have prayed and told you a million times. I want to have a conversation with you, but like, fuck, dude, like, I wasn't, not all that.
Right.
We could have
Take
left
some
it out for
back.
the second one. Like,
Take some back.
yeah,
he's like,
yeah,
oh, you got me there for what?
you can't unsee it though. So you have to figure out how to integrate it into your being.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the hardest part of it all, is just having it reshaped constantly. And the
Yeah.
more it gets reshaped, the less that you can relate to other people around you. And that's the isolating part of it, is that they're still talking about 666 is the devil and all this shit. And I'm like, why is it on my coffee maker then every time I look at it? Like, why are all these like signs and synchronicities jumping out at me? And
I was going to start pimping that number out just to like say, like, fuck it. Like, I want people
I
to
think you
like start
should.
becoming desensitized to it
Mm.
because I don't believe that it's actually anything bad. So,
No.
I don't think it is either. Um,
I hate to say, people are like, oh my God, what's he saying? But yeah, my opinion, you probably may have heard it before, and I don't want to get into it too much, but I actually think that goes, I mean, multiple layered things, but I think one of them is actually referring to the eyeball. So it's like, to me at that point, I'm like, I don't understand how this is evil. Like,
Right.
talking about my pupil dilating, which I could do that depending if I'm looking at light or not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to explain, but I'm just, I don't, I sometimes think that you need to have the beast within you and you need to awaken it, I think, to break out of the chains that you're in to have a magical experience.
Mm.
So,
yeah.
so it's even harder for me to look at that associated with the beast as a bad thing. I think maybe if unchained, with no leash whatsoever, he's got to have his companion. The whore's got to be
Right.
there. She'll make sure he's a little tame and he works, so everything goes okay. She got him off. He's okay. He's in a good mood. He's relaxed now. Everything
Got his moment of clarity.
Yeah, he's got some clarity now.
Yeah.
He's not just going to be, killing everything for no reason. There'll be a reason behind it. But you know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't necessarily see those things as a bad thing. I actually believe, this is my opinion, even when you get into, that part of the Bible where that's bringing up, I actually think that's somebody crossing the abyss and that's their experience.
Yeah. I think that's one interpretation of it. And, the church has really solidified how we should all feel about everything. And I think that's going to be really hard to overcome.
Well, they've been putting in work.
Yeah.
When I was talking about these people, like some of these people that I was talking about, that, like, were big into, the body, or even like huge with like Hermeticism, they were in the Catholic, and the Catholic Church entertained this shit at some point.
Yes.
Like, they entertained Kabbalah. They allowed people to start looking at Kabbalah and trying to integrate it into Catholicism, because they started seeing this shit works and this shit helps.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, nope, no more.
Yeah.
Won't be talking about this. Shit changed. Not that I'm trying to like promote the Catholic Church, but at one point they seemed to be onto something. And then all of a sudden,
and then someone shut it
the
up.
Rosicrucians started popping up, which I think was kind of a pushback to the censorship of occultism.
Could be. Or history could be propaganda the same as news is today. I mean, we'll never know.
Yeah, that's true. Because the context is not the reality, right? Like, what you see isn't really what's going on.
I tell you the truth, I do highly suspect even old news, like old stories and old books. It's like, how do we know these things are real?
Right.
History is correct. Because there's like a lot of occultists. I'll even throw like Aleister Crowley in there. Some of his stories, it's like, if you look at this in an occult lens, it makes more sense. And it's just like, is this a ciphered message or a ciphered story? So I wonder that about like it's just like even me and Lisa, we have covered a lot of old occultists. It's just like, you see almost like certain things repeating, and it's like, are these stories or is this real? These stories that are being handed to us for us to find the information. It's almost like, I hate to say it, it's almost like you start wondering, like, is everything just basically a Cicada 3301?
Yeah. Well, just because,
I mean, like, certain orders have their own ciphers and shit, and you start wondering if there's like a lot of like what was that, like Angels and Demons, whatever the fuck those movies were. Where it's like basically like at the end, like, you're gonna come to like finding a group that's like kind of sent you on a fucking trail to go find something.
Yeah.
I mean,
Holy
look
Grail.
at what Scott Walter's going through right now.
Yeah.
How they deciphered this shit, and they found, supposedly they're gonna find all this stuff. I mean, just think about it. They had to decipher something that came, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It could be treasure maps in a sense out there.
Yeah. No one will take a second look.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's the thing. For me, like, you weren't there, and human nature is no different today than it was 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. So all this shit gets written down, and it's like, okay, so someone, like, we already established, like 95% of people are out causing fuckery. Like, someone wrote that shit down. So how do we know, what their position was, and how do we know what their intention was, and how do we know what their goal was, or the purpose? Like, most people are disingenuous, right? So, like, I just don't trust anything ever.
You know what? God, like, this is gonna. I don't want this to come out wrong. I would love to get Scott Walter on my show. I think the guy's great. But you know how like they're going on about that whole thing with the Ark and the Mary's bones and Jesus' bones and all that stuff. We covered on the Occult Rejects. We covered the Gallon Mafia, and we tried to show from older texts in the past from Freemasons them talking about how they were going to eventually kind of like influence the church. And it was a long thing that we read off. Teresa actually covered this topic with me. And at one point, like, they were explaining how they were going to basically like mind fuck the world. And like, I thought it was interesting. I was like, how the fuck did you pull this off? I was like, this has got to be aliens or UFOs. But they were talking about like how they will take the religious ideas and basically destroy those, and then somehow at the same time take people who don't believe in shit and actually get them to.
Mm.
And then I was starting to think, I was like, yo, if this shit comes out, it's going to destroy the original idea of Catholicism, Christianity, but it's still keeping those characters. And now it's going to give proof to people who didn't believe something to believe in. And I was like, yo, fuck. Is this how they're going to do it? Again, I'm not trying to shit on this dude or those people, the Templars, because I am interested. I mean, they're onto something with the Gnosticism in this, but I was just like, fuck, this would be a way to do it as well.
Yeah.
And I know they're probably like, wow, where the fuck did this just come from? It was something I was thinking about last night, and you talking about like, who knows, could this even be something that's being prophesized? And this is just, I don't know. I know it's like just a weird idea that just came out of my mouth, but it was something I was thinking about last night and this morning. I don't know why. It was an idea that popped into my head, and I was kind of like struggling with it.
You
Because
have to ponder it in that way.
Claims already saying like, is that bullshit? Is it real? And I was like, does it have to be real? Just people have to believe it. And not knocking those people, but it was just like, again, like that idea just popped into my head last night. And I was like, fuck, that would be a way to kind of change major religion and atheists and agnostics at the same time.
Gather other people to manifest that for you.
I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm taking off on that, but it was just something I thought.
You have to look at it from all angles like that, because I mean, even when I, came up with my own ideas just spontaneously with no input from anywhere else, eventually I had to come to like, did this somehow get like beamed into my head? Just crazy shit. Like, was this like beamed into my head like Elon Musk's Neuralink thing, or like,
Or was that from the
like,
babe?
yeah, like did someone plant this idea?
Babe.
Because I mean, it feels like it's not my ideas, and it's things that I don't know about
Right, it just got
previously.
planted. Yeah.
See, that I think all has something to do with like kind of magic in a sense. Because like from my experience with magic, I think we just eventually tap into like an all-knowing consciousness that we all can share. So like in my opinion, that's exactly why I think you'll see different things, different areas of the world slightly using the same art, maybe building pyramids a little bit differently. But I do think they got the ideas from connecting to a source. It's not like a guy fucking across the sea didn't send you. I'm sure he didn't send you a bird with a letter telling you how to build a fucking pyramid.
Yeah.
All these
Probably
people
not.
in the world that have ideas is because they're tapping into the same source and getting the same idea. Like you're saying, well, I could have been the first one who had this. Probably not. But it's an idea coming from the ether. And you just happen to grab it that time.
I think so too. I call it remote Radiohead.
That's good. That's a good one.
Yeah, flip it through the
just,
stage and you actually catch something for a few seconds. You're like, oh, that was interesting.
Got to move your rabbit ears around a little bit and kind of like tune
I think
into
the good
it.
ones come when you're not paying attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
Flow state brings it. If you can get into flow state, that's where, like if I run out of ideas, I'll just go play my game. And if I just get lost in it, all of a sudden I come out on the other side with like, I have all these ideas and this idea and that idea. And like,
I love it. I'll go for a walk and listen to music. By the time I come back, I'll probably, fuck, I should have wrote all this shit down. I just had ideas.
Yeah.
Mushrooms.
I just have a big pad of paper while I'm playing my game, this big old notebook.
Mushrooms.
And I just like,
and I take pictures.
Nice.
It gets me gets me there.
if you can go in that state, you can find out just about anything you want to know if you think about it, but don't think about it too hard because,
right.
It's an art. It's an art and a science.
You're just like circling the edge, right? And as you're passing by, things are floating into your thought patterns. That's what I try to do. If you focus on any one thing, it starts to get too convoluted. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see what other
about magic or whatever.
Let me see what other questions I got. I wrote like a whole page of questions. But he's covered most of them about like OTO and
you did just in your flow.
Here's one, because I was going to ask about other considering other like lodges and like Freemasonry, but I mean, you said that like you didn't really have a choice as far as your, where you were and what was available to you. But what is the difference, like ideologically? What is OTO? What do they believe? What's their thing?
Well, they have Liber Oz, which I think you probably, I mean, I couldn't rattle it off. I think that's like a good statement of what a Thelemite is. But, kind of like understanding who you are, figuring out what your will is, figuring out magic. I mean, that's kind of like what it's supposed to be. The difference I would say between the Masonry and I guess the OTO, when the OTO did start, it actually was it was a kind of a thing. It was made by Masons actually.
Hmm.
It, kind of like a branch off. If you were a Mason and you were high up, you could probably join the OTO and not start from the beginning. Like it even was like that aligned with the person that was the people that were running it. Then eventually they came to know Aleister Crowley. They say that they read his shit and he was talking about that, basically saying, "Oh, you're talking about our secrets. You're putting our secrets out there." And he was like, "Supposedly, I don't know what the hell you people are." Blah blah blah. And they eventually, and then they gave him the order, and he took it over and changed it and whatever. Blah blah blah. So, I mean, it was originally aligned with Masonry, but like I had said before, you walk into the OTO, it's magic straight in your face.
Yeah.
You walk into Freemasonry, it's like,
And titties.
And titties. But the initiation requirements are the same as Masons, Freemasons, right?
let me say that again. I'm sorry.
OTO requirements for initiation. The only difference between them and Freemasons is that OTO lets women in, right?
Oh, yeah, that is true too. Yes.
Yeah.
Have, yeah, the Freemasons will have the Eastern Star, but again, it's like a separate thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
OTO, male, female, it can be anything. Join that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Be a penguin.
I spent 5 years in the Eastern Star.
Oh, wow. Really? How was
Yeah. It was all right. And then I went to nursing school and I just didn't have time because I had, it's a lot of ritual memorization. I just didn't have time to commit to it. So kind of gave it up.
That's impressive that you were only in it, what you said, for 5 years and you're already getting into ritual stuff.
Oh yeah,
I know in Masonry that, like,
I
still.
had a chair, so I had a lot of ritual. Well, I had to memorize a lot of rituals.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah. So in order to get into the Eastern Star, you have to have a male member of your family who is a Freemason. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I didn't actually know that the OTO had the same initiation requirements. You have
Oh,
to be 18.
so your father was a Freemason or something? Or,
I have Freemasons all through my family,
oh,
actually. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's interesting because there's probably people that think you're reptilian now because you just admitted it.
um,
I know,
Eastern
I was
Star.
like, I wouldn't have said that. I
Yeah.
don't think I
Well,
would
it's
have
the
said
truth.
that.
No, I mean, it doesn't phase me at all. I mean, look, I was in the OTO. I get it. You had an
Yeah,
interest and you wanted to figure something the fuck out.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That was just funny how, like, keep it.
It's a lot less popular in Canada as it is like down in the southern states. It's very popular, Eastern Star, and there's really not a lot of culture behind it here in Canada as compared to the United States. Like looking at it from here to there, it's a lot different. Like we do things like Grand Chapter in Canada or in Ontario is
To talk
different
about that when
than
you come on. This is
yeah, it's different than how they do things in the States. It's a little a little less gumption, let's just say. Down in the States, I know they take it real serious. Yeah. Yeah,
I
but
looked into Eastern Star too, and then like my husband's, I want to say his grandmother was an Eastern Star, and his
mhm,
grandfather was probably a Freemason. I
mhm.
could have got in, but I was just like, I don't want to be an Eastern Star. I want to be a Freemason.
I know.
And but I
Yeah.
also don't want to like crash you guys' party or anything. I was like, fuck it, I work alone. I'll
Yeah.
figure it out. Like
It
I
like
work alone.
if it, when I go down home, I've gone like you go to the graveyard where the family's all buried, like going back to the 1700s, and all the women in the family have the Eastern Star on their grave. So it's kind of something. It skipped my mother, and I didn't necessarily know that. I just kind of came to it on my own after doing some reading. And then I found out there was a chapter close by. So yeah, I did 5 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was an experience, right?
Yeah, it was. And I went to Grand Chapter, and you get to see like everything on the big scale, not just in the little room, you know? Yeah, it was cool.
I mean, I've always even said for me, I mean, even my experience in the OTO, I mean, it was beneficial. It really even
Yeah.
helped me realize who I didn't want to be in certain aspects. From
Yeah.
my, it probably was a little bit more enjoyable, you being in the Eastern Star, than my OTO experience
Well,
was.
there's a big social factor too, right? Like there's a big social factor that is embedded into it, obviously, and it's integrated with the Freemasons. Most of the women that I met there, their husbands or their brothers or their, somebody is a Freemason. So it's pretty integrated into their families. And I would say the ritual in Eastern Star is based on the Bible, but it's more of a focus on the stories and so the morals and the values that come out of the stories and the figures, the female figures in the Bible. It's not necessarily like they're out there thumping Catholicism.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
more, it's more about the values and the teachings that come out of the stories of the people that are the women who are featured in the Bible. Few and far between, but yeah. So I don't regret it at all. And for sure I did learn a lot, and just practicing ritual is an experience in of itself. And yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate everything I took away from it. I got nothing bad to say. Yeah. But if it's something that if you're going to take a position, you really need to focus on putting time in to remember the ritual, because people take that shit seriously. So, and then when I went to nursing school, I just didn't have the time. So, yeah.
I even think, I don't know how it would be for your order, but like even when we use like the hexagram ritual, well, especially the pentagram ritual,
Hmm.
I actually do believe, it sounds crazy, I think some of these rituals are actually showing you the change with inside your eyeball as well.
Mm.
Because your eyeball, the pupil pulls open in the four cardinal directions.
Hmm.
Muscles that pull it open, but it screws closed. So when the magician, like in the AA, or if I had my black hood on,
Hmm.
my opinion, I'm destroying the gods that are keeping my pupil open, and I'm fucking screwing it closed as I'm going around in a circle. I mean, you'll
Mm.
even have some people that'll put salt around. You get crystals on your fucking your,
Yeah.
pars plata in your eye. I know it sounds crazy, but I do think some rituals are actually showing the eyeball, the pupil changing, because that also determines on how much light you're pulling in,
True.
how much
It always comes
information.
back to the light.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
It does, but there's also a light factor. Like they're in a lot of rituals, so the lights go down or they have lights on in certain areas of the room. Like, and that's, sometimes that is integrated. So,
even this, like, I could throw this in a little weird and interesting. Crowley has Libra Resh, or the Resh, and if you look at like the way the sun is at the certain times you're supposed to do these things, it actually would make your pineal gland like optimal, because you're
mm,
at the sun and taking in those certain colors at this specific times. And then like he has the star ruby, and he uses the Knox formula for that. That's his. Now I even think, just to preface this, in the Minerva ritual, fuck it, I'm whatever, I'm going to talk about the ritual. Then in the Minerva degree, at one point you're always given in these degrees, you're given like a word, a gesture.
mm,
The Minerva degree, you're standing next to like a tent, and to me it looks a little bit like the optic nerve. And they tell you the god name is On.
mm,
Optic nerve, in my opinion, again. And then they
mm,
pump the thumb 12 times, and your optic nerve is one of your 12 cranial nerves. So, like, I'm even thinking I'm seeing this symbolism in there. And then if you have the Knox formula, now the optic nerves even cross like this from your eyes to your brain. They make an
mm-hmm,
X, they cross. So I'm
mm-hmm,
like, all right, Knox is probably the optic nerve in the crossing. And at one point in there, you start making all these gestures and you do these things. And at one point, you're imitating Isis, and you're supposed to be looking like you're holding a baby and then squeezing your nipple as if like you're feeding it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for women, I don't know if you know this. If you were to give birth to a child and it started breastfeeding from you, that I think it's part of it would be the colostrum, all that thin fluid is going to have a conversation with your fucking pineal gland and the baby's pineal gland. It's going to tell your child where the fuck it is, what season it is, what time it is.
Mm.
So even in that symbolism right there, the baby pinching the fucking nipple or the sucking on the nipple is still showing some sort of things going on with the pineal gland. I don't think this guy was all about dicks and demons. That's all I'm trying to say.
I'm just
Yeah.
trying to say.
There is actual
Yeah.
science in this shit. I
Yeah.
might believe.
Yeah.
Which is why I try to fuck with people like Ricardo and Lisa.
Yes.
I know.
Because
I
they'll
like
have
to
these
bounce
crazy
stuff off of
ideas I can pitch
Ricardo.
it to them, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, I actually see something here. That's interesting."
Mm-hmm.
I do the
Yeah.
same thing to Ricardo. Like I'll have a thought and I'll just need to bounce it off someone smarter than me.
Mm.
And so, I do think there's other stuff in there with this stuff. I do think it does go down. In my opinion, a lot of Renaissance Catholic, especially Italy, the art,
Mm-hmm.
all eyeball stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those fountains, you always see like there's one where it like shows these four dudes. They look like they're holding like robes. You know how like a lot of times you'll even see guys like holding robes and shit, or like these fucking things. I believe that's probably the eyeball muscle. You have four dudes that look like they're all holding it, but like are now like destroyed and letting it go, and they're on the
Mm-hmm.
four cardinal directions. And then there's like this, that fleur de lis type thing coming out.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what the fuck your eyeball would be doing if it decided to fucking the lens changes, moves up when it gets smaller.
Mm-hmm.
These guys, the muscles that have been holding it open just got fucking spiraled closed. They lost grip, and now the water in your eye is fucking changing.
Yeah.
I do believe they're actually showing you all that shit in that art.
Yeah.
It's all,
Renaissance art is like next level. There's a lot.
I can even show the birth of Venus. If you take
Yeah.
the picture of the birth of Venus and then a side picture of the fucking eyeball, you'll see the same fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, I literally have that shit. I have like my own version of the birth of Venus on my arm. Somebody said, "Well, what is that?" And I said, "An artistic depiction of the eyeball." They're probably like, "What the fuck?"
What's
It
this
is
guy
today.
about? Yeah.
Yeah. I got a chick there and a seashell and all this weird shit going on,
Right.
just like that. But it's just like, yeah, that's actually my version of the inside of your eyeball, just in art.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody, who the fuck would ever pick that up unless I told them?
Mm.
The eyes are the window to the soul or whatever they
Right?
say.
All the
And
cliches. All
Yeah,
those
your eyes and your
cliches.
brain all determine your reality.
Mm-hmm.
yep.
I mean, they are actually the same thing. That's something that I didn't ever realize until I started covering it. Your eyes, it's part of your brain. It's just an extension.
Well, it's just such
Yep.
it's like the major input organ for your brain to process like your surroundings, right? Yeah. I mean,
I even think you'll see like the Garden of Eden. I think you'll see the baptism in the eyeballs. You see all symbology for all that stuff.
mm,
You have the Aura Serrata, or is that, I'm probably screwing it up. It's the other part, but it looks like a seashell inside your eyeball. And then right under that, above that is where you have the it's like blood and fluid in the top of your,
mhm,
and then at the
mhm.
bottom you have the aqueous humor, which is only just like water. But in between that, you see like this thing that looks like a seashell. And then the water's like, I mean, that's the same thing with the baptism. You're supposed to hold the seashell up and the
Yep.
water pours out of it. You
Mhm.
see things like that on the sides of like churches all over Italy, or like things on the side, you'll see like a faucet and it's coming out of a seashell. It's like same fucking thing I'm watching right here in the beginning of the eyeball.
Mm.
Oh, well, I'm watching water go to wine too, if you want to look at it like that.
Mm.
It's all like it's all in a time capsule for safety, like in all these Renaissance paintings and stuff like that. Like they erased everything else, but not all these paintings and historical buildings and places like that's where you find this stuff. Like
I get a
that's no
kick out of
coincidence.
like the Renaissance art and the big artists. You have to remember that like we're coming out of a really shitty time period where no information was being conveyed to people, and then all of a sudden we have all these very very wealthy patrons who are paying these artists to like
Right.
record
Oh, there's always a,
information, right? So it's extremely significant. It's beautiful art to look at, just to take it for what it is, of course. Like their skill set was just like out of this world. We don't have artists like that anymore. And people don't study art in that method anymore. I mean, we have some copycats, but with just like an explosion of incredible, incredible artistry, not just in paint, but in stone, you know, carving, that sort of thing. Look at all the cathedrals, like Renaissance art. I'm a big fan, Sarah. You know, I post that
Oh
shit
yeah.
all the time. Yeah.
I went to it. I actually have, it's probably like a 3-part series whenever I do it. I actually have like tons and tons of footage from Italy, Rome.
Yeah. You
Yeah, I
should
went,
post it, man.
yeah, well,
I
I
love
wanted
it.
to do an actual documentary on it. I've had this shit for almost a year, and I went out and filmed tons and tons of stuff, and I just
Do
never.
it.
But
For sure. Do
I
it.
have Untermeyer Park that I filmed because that has occult connotations to it. I
Mhm.
went to Yale and I filmed all the secret societies out there. I filmed the fucking cemetery, flew my drone over these things. I just
Nice.
haven't covered them yet. I have to, because the thing is, it's going to take a while. So it's like I almost have to like get everybody on board and just be like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the stuff with Italy, I've been like really like I have to put this shit out because I have tons of
Yeah.
stuff, and the art is insane. I think
Absolutely.
it's a good case for me to improve my story more if I was to cover it.
I think you should do it.
Yeah, I just need to get my ass in gear and actually get people to start doing it.
The longer you sit on it, the less
No, yeah,
motivated you are to.
one thing I will say, I've at least gone through all the footage and I have like edited it,
Mm,
tweaked the color. I've made it look like however I want it when it's done.
that's
Now
halfway.
yeah, I know. Yeah, at least,
See?
no, I actually did the annoying shit first.
Yeah.
I'm like when I do go to cover it, I just basically got to tell people like what, show them, and just be like, all right,
Mm,
whatever. It should be a lot easier, but so at least I've done that. Yes,
yeah.
but I got to get my ass in gear and actually.
Yeah. Get it
start.
going. I want to watch.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, how would you define your spiritual ideology now?
That's
That's
a
a
good
hard
one.
question. I mean, I believe in God, obviously, but
You're like me, you don't define it, aren't you?
I yeah, I can't. I
Mm,
can't. Sometimes I call myself an occultist, but I mean that even just sounds, it has bad whatever. Uh, yeah. I mean, I'm still searching and still trying to figure out God,
yeah.
and at the same time, I'm trying to figure out how my body actually works and what happens when magic happens. So, I mean,
That
I
I
can't
part.
like
even. I
I
can't
like
even.
to call it I'm in discovery mode.
Yeah, yeah.
There you
Well, I
go.
think as soon as I give myself a label, that means I'm not entertaining other things.
That's right. I'm in
That's
discovery
exactly
mode.
what I was going to say. I feel like when try to define it, that puts a block up. And so if I just stay open, things tend to work out better. But it depends on who I'm talking to, too.
Hmm.
Like for some people, I just say I'm a witch.
I will say,
Like,
I will say one thing. Ever since having magical experiences, which may sound crazy. Now I can't say like every religious text. I guess maybe with Catholicism or the Bible and stuff with I guess Judaism. Especially the Bible though. Even though I may not claim like I'm like a religious person, and I'm not, uh, I will say that those books or those religions, I do see more value in them, or I see more beauty in that stuff since I've had my experience, but it's still, in my opinion, it's just being misunderstood. But,
Hmm.
so it hasn't actually taken, I do see more value in these things if you look at it the right way. So it's
Hmm.
like I'm saying, like my experiences like made me dislike or hate these things. I just think the way that humans or the way it's being handed to us is just not correct.
Hmm. It's being manipulated.
someone's actively manipulated it somewhere along the line.
Hmm. For
Like that,
sure.
and that was an organized effort to do that. I just don't know who did it. And I mean, I just have to figure it out for myself, the same as we all do, and understand that anything can be propaganda. Like, no matter how
Absolutely.
much you trust it, if it's something outside of yourself, be very careful.
Like when you're looking at that stuff though, you just have to kind of cut the noise and look into it and what's there, what's being said, what's
That's
the moral, what's the value, what should you be taking away? Yeah.
I mean, like real quick, I could even just like say this too, like for people to think about and wonder about, like King James, as me and I bring up Lisa a lot because me and her are always like doing these types of shows together. We've covered a lot of occultists in the past, And throughout that time, we have come across so many of them that somehow had some attachment to King James.
Mm.
Don't forget
Mm-hmm.
Shakespeare, Jacob Boehm's been around there. Other occultists have all shown up around this guy. So you have to even wonder, like, whose hands were even in that Bible,
Mm-hmm.
making that Bible. And then another thing I'd like to add, just to screw up people in a different way, any person that has ever told us or handed down some lore or idea or theory about what the fuck's out in the skies, they were all alchemists.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them was an occultist. So you have to start wondering, like, can I take any of this at face value? Not saying the truth isn't in there. You have to start wondering, how is it being told? Because no occultist is going to be outright. At least not the ones in the past. They're going to make you work for that shit. Or
It's
Mm-hmm.
all buried under layers and layers of
Right.
symbolism and
Right.
some inside info that you need from some damn century
Well, you
somewhere.
have to come to it on your own, like, and have done preparation work to get there. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't just be
Only people
given.
with eyes to see can see it.
That's right. You can't all willy-nilly just be handing information to people, because
And there
that's
we are
when,
back to the eye again.
yeah.
Every time. That eye.
True.
Well, that's about all I got, Jacqueline.
that's good. Yeah, that's fine with me. I actually got another show in 23 minutes, so that's fine.
Yeah, you got more work to do.
Yeah, I actually got somebody coming on to talk about the Delphi murders. I'm just basically
Oh,
just
cool.
yeah. I got somebody covering the topic, so
Yeah.
I don't mind doing 2 shows back to back. So
That's my other secret obsession. True crime.
oh, yeah.
I'm listening to a new deep dive on the Stephen Avery murder now. So,
Wow, okay.
yeah,
Nice. You ever come across some decent true crime stuff? Send it my way.
I will. I do come across quite a bit of it, actually. That's how I relax.
Did you
Yeah.
get into the Gilgo Beach stuff at all?
What's that?
The Gilgo Beach stuff? Did you get into that at all?
I did not long ago watch something, and I do have a couple of podcasts that I've kind of got on my to watch list. I kind of, when you get onto a specific story, even though you've already heard it like 10 times, and then like you go really deep before you can leave it alone. I'm right there
Yeah.
right now with the
Oh.
Stephen Avery.
The Gilgo Beach, straight
Yeah.
up. Something's
Yeah,
not right.
that's like
Oh.
up where you were from, right? Isn't it? Yeah.
Before I moved, they busted the guy, and I
Yeah.
was down there. I was down there with my fucking drone and my fucking video camera. I filmed the I
Oh,
was like,
wow.
"Fuck, yeah. As soon as I
Yeah.
heard that shit, I'm like, "Oh, this dude only lives 20 minutes away from me."
Yeah, that's a wild story.
Cops, the news, it was insane.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's
but
a
that
wild
shit
story.
makes no sense, man. There's definitely
No.
some magic going on with that motherfucker.
There's something.
Yo, it was like
Definitely.
really weird. Like me and Lisa started playing with like numbers and gematria.
Mhm.
Even some of the stories, the people, in, like the towns, start popping up in Aleister Crowley's Book of Lies.
Mm.
Yo, and like all of a sudden, like even the gematria and a lot of things that were showing up for people's names or dates or these people that called start like matching things in that book it was fucking weird. It was to the point to where me and Lisa were like, we don't even know, like, this could all just be like literally some fucking wild coincidence, because like when we're looking at it, it's like I still can't even tell you what the fuck's going on. It's just fucking plain out. Like, I
Yeah.
can sit here and we spent probably 2 hours like showing all these connections with the numbers, and at the end I'm like, I can't, like,
It's too much.
yeah,
You're talking about
like, I can't give you a conclusion to this myself, but it's fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
It's just
you
really
talking about the gematria episode that y'all did the other day?
no. This we did probably almost 2 years ago now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
When Gilgo Beach first popped off, me and Lisa got like heavy into looking at it. We even had Jonathan Ray on the podcast. John Ray. Oh, well, I'm thinking like you guys are from Long Island and know the area. He's like the lawyer that's like always popping up on the news every once in a while. Stirring
Okay,
shit about the
yeah.
fucking case. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he dresses all like fucking wild, and he's got his big B on his fucking
Yeah. I saw him on one of the documentaries I watched. Yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, definitely check. Yeah, that shit. If you're into the occult, I definitely think some occult.
I will look into it, and I'll when I come across some of my goodies, I'll send them to you.
Yeah, please, yeah.
Yeah. So
you guys
Nick,
have to do another gematria episode with that one guy from the other day. because y'all did the Ozzy Osbourne, the numbers,
Mm.
and then
Mm.
Hulk Hogan died. So now y'all got to put Hulk Hogan through the
It's too
thing and
much.
let's.
No, that
Unreal.
was something. I had to give credit. Like, well, my Maria, I saw her make like a post on like the 88s because I always like was saying like that's definitely popping up a lot now, especially if you have 88 and you got 22 in there. And she made like a post about 88 and like for some reason, I don't know, maybe start going through like gematria and like Trump equals 88, Coldplay equals 88, Epstein equals 88. And Hulk Hogan would be H, which would be the 8th letter of the alphabet, and Hulk Hogan,
Oh, God.
88.
Yeah.
And so, like, I added all those in there, and I was like, yo, what the fuck's up with the 88s?
What's up with that?
That's all, like, Coldplay is huge now because of that bullshit.
Right?
Trump's huge. Epstein's being talked about again.
Weird.
And now Hulk dies, 88. What the
Weird.
fuck?
Yeah. Mm.
Good shit.
Sarah
Universe
loves the
has
numbers.
8 letters, and Unveiled has 8 letters. So
Oh, well, even thinking octaves going 8.
Yeah.
yeah,
The magician, he's got the 8 or the infinity symbol above his head. Toth is my opinion. He's like the magician, and that's on the 8th sphere on the tree of
oh, we
life.
got the Lionsgate portal coming up too, 8-8.
Great.
I'm actually recording part 2 of my Kabbalah series on that day.
Perfect.
Well,
Yeah, that's what I was
if
like.
the world don't end,
It can't
we're
end
all
on
still
that
here.
day.
No. Me and Jen got to at least make part 2 happen. Yeah.
It's a rebirth.
Yeah.
It's a rebirth.
But thank you very much. That was a blast.
Yeah.
I really look forward to
Yeah.
getting both of yous on. For sure.
Yeah. That's going to be
Definitely.
fun. We're looking forward to it. Where can everyone find you, Nick?
The Occult Rejects podcast that's on BitChute, Rumble, YouTube, all major podcasts. And we do have occultresearchinstitute.org. You can check that out. We got a bunch of people that are either part of the Occult Rejects or just friends of the show that have added. If you're big into reading, it's a lot more of reading, but there is stuff on there.
Yeah, for sure. I am big into reading.
Yeah, definitely. Personally, like a lot of the old occultists that we have covered are grimoires and books. Those are
Okay.
those are all up there. Those I actually suggest to check out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's good.
for sure.
And you know what's interesting? When you go and look at those things, believe it or not, I mean, it was some of the grimoires, but like some of them, I think people would be surprised. None of it is actually rituals.
Mm.
You ever like realize that? I mean, that's probably another thing both of you can even co-sign for me. Out of all of these like old magical texts, or a lot of these things that we read as magicians or whatever, trying to figure out God in our whatever reality, most of them don't have one fucking ritual in there.
No, because you wouldn't write it down. You know what I
Not
mean?
even that, but some of it's like you need a ritual to theorize. Like, you know what I'm getting at? Like some of it's not,
Yeah.
people just get confused again.
They do.
That's like out of all the things I've read about the Kabbalah, none of
Well,
these.
what they don't know, they invent. Yeah. Mm.
Those whole ideas of what the spheres are about and what the paths are about. You know, you
Yeah.
could implicate that into your rituals, but I think you know what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I highly suggest to like check out those the older stuff that we have on there. And we do have again some of the rejects on there are a lot more active than me and Lisa. And the reason I'm bringing her up is we started the website. You know, we both kind of slacked, but there are some rejects on there that is still continuing to put more stuff on there. But there is actually tons of information on that website.
Cool. Sarah, is it my
check
turn?
that out. Yeah, girl. Sure. Name them. You remember them.
YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, X, Spreaker, Instagram.
Yay, you got them
Hey,
all.
girl. So that's where you can find you. Also, we have our new merch store. So if you want to support the show and also get some awesome merch with our beautiful logo on it, you can check out our link in description down below. And that's it. We're so happy that you came on, Nick. It's been awesome.
It was great.
Yeah, this was fun.
I actually talk to you instead of like texting on Twitter.
Sure.
Right? It was time.
It made you
real.
real.
It was time.
Yeah.
We're real. We're real girls. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So we really appreciate it. It's been a good chat.
No, hell
for
yeah,
sure.
Definitely. I really had a good time. I definitely look forward to talking to you.
Yeah. We're going to return the favor and visit you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you to all our subscribers, all the watchers. We appreciate it. Have a great day.
Bye.